Are you in the residence group in Facebook?
It's possible, but I'm not on there.
Oh, dear Lord, it's been on this whole time.
But I mean, sometimes I go in and look.
Yeah, I always process the
Right after the
water
meeting.
main breaks and all that.
It starts at 7.
in that group.
Yeah, see, one of them
I'm going to call this meeting to order. Good evening, everybody. We'll start with the invocation by Pastor Paula Miller from St. Michael and All Angels Church.
Let us pray. Holy and eternal God, we ask you to be with this gathering tonight of our mayor, the city council, and city officials. Fill us with your enlightenment as we consider all the ways to better the lives of our people. Let the care for our common property, buildings, and grounds show our hospitality for one another. May our concern extend to the health and safety of our residents in our plans for the renovation and reuse of neglected houses. Let the families who are planning to enjoy summer block parties become good neighbors, ready to lend a hand in support of one another. We ask your blessing on all our safety officers, employees, and volunteers who dedicate their time and energy to the betterment of our city. May they know how much we value their commitment. Let us demonstrate through a fiscally sound budget the proper use of the monies that have been entrusted to us. Keep us ever mindful of the poor, those in need, and especially our children in all we say and do. And we ask you, Lord, to have mercy on the soul of Chief Ernie Moon, beloved retired member of our fire department who recently died, and all those cherished servants of our city whose names are known to you. We make this prayer, knowing you, O God, walk with us this night and always. Amen.
Amen.
This time, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to call up the members of the Little League to lead us in the pledge.
Come on up,
Come on
guys.
up.
Don't be shy now.
You're on TV.
All right. Bear with us. Most of my little ones are in preschool, so we are not quite there yet, but
That's okay.
behalf of the little league.
Come on
You can
up
come
here.
on up right here.
Come on up here, guys.
Oh,
We
all
can
right.
see
All right,
you.
Mateo,
I'll
after you,
see you.
buddy.
Come on, guys.
You, Captain.
Let's
okay,
we get a couple of them
sweetie.
up there. That's all that matters. There he is. Look at there.
There you go.
Good little girl.
Hey, all right.
She got a bigger smile.
Good job.
Okay.
Hand over our hearts. All right.
I
I
pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Clerk, would you call the roll?
Certainly. Councilpersons Bear.
Here.
Dupre. Here. Nichols.
Here.
Ross. Here. Salcido. Zor.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Zor, are you here? Okay.
I'm sorry.
And Mayor Tobin.
Here.
Thank you.
Hey, right now we're going to go into the public hearing.
Did you want to do
City manager? Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight's public hearing is for the purpose of the public to enter any comments or suggestions for the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget. At the last regular council meeting or the study session, the budget was presented to council. So just a quick recap on that. For the general fund, the revenues projected were $28,761,677, and the expenditures requested are $29,426,552. That does utilize fund balance for the first time in several years, estimated at $664,875. However, the budget will be adopted by council at the first meeting in June, but there have been some slight changes that will need to be made to the budget before it is adopted. One of those items is related to the court budget. They since we did our budget projections, they have submitted their requested budget for the upcoming year. They do have the need for additional staffing included in there, as well as some pay raises for the current employees. So there will have to be an adjustment to the budget. Right now, it's estimated at approximately $200,000 increase to our general fund for our portion. We do pay 76% of the overall court budget. River Rouge and Ecorse have their percentage as well, but ours is 76%. So the more that they increase their budget, the more substantial of a hit it is to the general fund. And then the other item that we talked about at the meeting was the water rates. I did present some options. Right now, I do have it in the budget for a 17% increase. I know there's some discussion on that. So I will go forward with the 17% because right now that is what's projected for the needs of the water and sewer fund, unless there's another meeting prior to that or a change made that night during the meeting. So at this time, I will turn it over to the public if there's any comments on the upcoming 25-26 budget. Does not appear to be any.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to close the public hearing at 7:06 PM, and we'll move on to the consent agenda.
There is a correction to the resolution for the renewal of the used auto dealers, just so everybody knows, one of the addresses was typed incorrectly. It's not 4191 Dix, it's 4181. Okay?
All right.
So that will be corrected in the minutes when they're printed.
Okay, so be it resolved, the following items listed under the consent agenda be approved as presented to Mayor and Council. A, approved minutes, regular meeting, May 12, 2025. B, approved minutes, study session 25-26, budget, May 12, 2025. C, approved accounts and claims payable. D, approved block party 1700 block of LeBlanc. E, approved renewal used auto dealers licensed.
I'll move.
Support.
Clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Ross?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Zor?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
And Mayor Tobin.
Yes. Okay, moving on, approve addendum contract.
Okay, so Mayor and Council, this is to approve an amendment to the janitorial service contract that we currently have with Wilkins Pro Clean. So previously, we had a part-time employee that did help with the cleaning services at the DPS. That employee has been gone for about a year now. We don't really foresee that position being filled in the same role. It was kind of a dual role. So over the last year, internal staff has been doing some very minor cleaning, but the building really does need a professional to come in 2 to 3 times a week. So I reached out to our current contractor who we use now for City Hall and the library, as well as the Kennedy Memorial Building. We are very happy with their services. One of the few cleaners that we've had throughout the years that has done an exceptional job. So he did provide a quote for us, which would be $525 a week, which is $27,300 annually. So I am seeking approval to add the services for the DPS building onto the current contract, and it will expire at the same time. And then when we rebid out the services, all of those will be included at that time.
Resolved that the Mayor and Council authorize the amendment to the current contract in place with Wilkins Pro Clean to include the Department of Public Services building at a cost of $525 per week. Be it further resolved that the Mayor and City Clerk are authorized to execute this agreement.
I'll move. Support.
Any discussion?
Just a quick question, Your Honor. Lisa, this is not reflected in the budget yet, right?
No.
It is. Okay, it
Nope.
isn't. Okay.
Correct.
Anyone else? Clerk, call the roll.
Did you say it was or it wasn't?
It was not. Nope. But it will be, there's 2 to 3 items that I'll be bringing to council to show you the differences on the budget adoption. And I'll send those out prior to that meeting as well, so you have a good understanding of what they are.
Anyone else? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Bear?
Yes.
Dupre? Yes. Nichols?
Yes.
Ross? Yes. Salcido?
Yes.
Zor?
Yes.
And Mayor Tobin.
Yes.
Thank you.
Moving on, approve copiers.
This resolution is to waive the bidding process for 3 copy machines, one at DPS, one here at City Hall and City Management Office, and another at City Hall and the City Clerk's Office. So we are looking to utilize the state bid for this, so we're looking to waive the bidding process since it's already been bid out through the mitten system. So funds are currently budgeted in all 3 accounts. There's very little change. I think it was a couple bucks per month on the leases for the new machines. So we're looking for another 60-month term. We've been utilizing this company for over the last 5 years, and we're happy with their services as well.
Whereas the city's current leases for 3 copy machines are expiring, whereas the city has reviewed options for new leases of copy machines and feel that utilizing the state bidding process through Mitten will provide the most effective and cost-effective means for replacement process. Now therefore be it resolved, the mayor and city council waive the city's bid requirements and authorize the director of finance and operations to utilize the state's Michigan's bidding process to lease new copy machines for the clerk's office, city management, and Department of Public Services through Applied Innovations. The monthly base price for the 3 machines will be $486.15. Funds to be taken from lease expense account 101-111-946-000 and 101-172-946-000 and 101-445-946-000.
Move.
Support.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Nichols?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Zor?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
And Mayor Tobin.
Yes. Okay, we're going to move on to approve the SRF bond. Whereas the City of Lincoln Park, County of Wayne, Michigan, the city hereby determines that it is necessary for the public health, safety, and welfare of the city to acquire, construct, furnish, and equip addition, extensions, and improvement to the city's water supply system, consisting generally of replacement of water mains and service lines, together with all necessary interest in land and all related sites, structures, equipment, appurtenances, and attachments, therefore, the project. And whereas the city has been advised by the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy, EGLE, that financial assistance to accomplish the acquisition and construction of all or a portion of the project is available through the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, DWSRF, loan program administered by EGLE and the Michigan Finance Authority, the MFA, and whereas the city has made application for participation in the DWSRF loan program, and whereas the Revenue Bond Act 94, Public Acts of Michigan, 1933, as amended, Act 94, provides a means for financing the purchase, acquisition, construction, improvement, enlargement, extension, and repair of public improvements, such as the project, through the issuance of revenue bonds, and whereas the assurance of bonds payable from revenues of the system under Act 94, a total amount not to exceed $8,500,000, the bonds for this purpose of financing all or part of the project in one or more series represents the most practical means to that end. And whereas a notice of intent to issue revenue bonds must be published before issuance of the bonds in order to comply with the requirements of Section 33 of Act 94. And whereas the city intends at this time to state its intents to be reimbursed from proceeds of the bonds for any expenditures undertaken by the city for the project prior to the issuance of bonds. Now therefore be resolved that the city clerk is authorized and directed to publish a notice of intent to issue the bonds in the News Herald, a newspaper of general circulation in the city.
To the chair.
The notice of intent shall be published as a 1/4 page display advertisement substantially the following form attached. This resolution is Exhibit A. The City Council does hereby determine that the foregoing form of notice of intent to issue bonds and the manner of publication directed is a method best calculated to give notice to the users of the system and the electors residing in the boundaries of the city of the intent to issue the bonds, the purpose of the bonds, the security of the bonds, and the right of referendum related thereto, and that the provisions of 45 days with which to file a referendum petition is adequate to ensure that the city's electors may exercise their legal rights of referendum, and the newspaper named for publication is hereby determined to reach the largest number of persons to whom the notice is directed. The city makes the following declarations for the purpose of complying with the reimbursement rules of Treasury Registry 1.150-2 pursuant to the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 as amended. As the date hereof, the city reasonably expects to reimburse itself for expenditures described in B below with proceeds of debt to be incurred by the city. The expenditures described in this paragraph are the cost of acquiring and constructing the project, which were paid or will be paid subsequent to 60 days prior to the date hereof, or which will be paid prior to the issuance of the bonds for the waterfront or the general fund of the city. The maximum principal amount of the debt expected to be issued for the project includes insurance cost of $8,500,000. The reimbursement allocation of the expenditures described in above, the proceeds of the borrowing described herein will occur no later than 18 months after the later of the date on which the expenditure is paid or the date the related project is placed in service or abandoned, but in no event more than 3 years after the original expenditure is paid. A reimbursement allocation is an allocation in writing that evidence the city's use of the proceeds of the debt to be issued for the project to reimburse the city for capital expenditures made pursuant to this resolution. 5, the city hereby confirms the retention of Miller Canfield Paddocks and Stone, PLC, Miller Canfield, as bond counsel in connection with the bonds. The city has advised that Miller Canfield will represent the Michigan Finance Authority in the past and may represent the Michigan Finance Authority presently in connection with various matters, including drinking water state revolving fund loan program, and the city consists to represent of the Michigan Finance Authority by Miller Canfield in connection with the Drinking Water Safe Revolving Fund Loan Program that may be utilized by the city in connection with the bonds. The officers of the city are authorized to apply to a rating agency for a credit assessment if necessary to comply with requirements to participate in the DWSRF program. The officers, administrators, agents, and attorneys of the city are authorized and directed to take on other actions necessary and convenient to facilitate preparations of the bonds for sale. The bonds will be sold only after the city council approves the ordinance and resolution. Authorize issuance of the bonds and sale of the bonds. All resolutions and parts of resolutions insofar as they conflict with the provisions of this resolution are rescinded.
I'll move. Support with a little bit of a discussion.
Any discussion?
Just to make sure that people understand what they are, SRF bonds are state revolving fund
Yes.
bonds. The low-interest financing bonds, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? No? Clerk call the roll.
On the bond issue itself, this is above and beyond, like we had grants that paid for last year's funding.
Correct. We did also have some SRF funding last year as well. So we've had a combination of things going on over the last few years. We've had our own ARPA funds, we've had federal ARPA funds, and we've had SRF bonds that we've done.
Okay.
So this is to authorize us with the intention to sell. This doesn't actually give us the approval to sell the bond yet. It's just moving forward with the project, and it's required under EGLE.
Shortfall.
No, this is us committing to going forward, but we're not actually selling the bond yet. There'll be more approval that comes for that part
All right.
later on.
Anyone else? Clerk call the roll.
Councilpersons Ross?
Yes.
Dupre? Yes. Nichols?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Zor?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
And Mayor Tobin.
Yes. Okay, moving on, award bids for blight.
So this is for the blight contractor, formerly known as the P-Pride, but for code enforcement, our current contractor is going to retire anyway. It was time for us to bid out the project. So we did only receive one bid back. We met with the company, checked the references. They do currently work for Madison Heights, and they're very satisfied with them. But we met with them, asked them all of the questions. The prices are a bit higher than the current contract we're under, but that was 3 years ago. There's a few items on there that are lower than the current contract, but overall, the city's not, we do kind of, sort of fund this in a way, like we front-load the money to the contractor. So these are for residents who don't cut their grass timely. If we send ordinance out there, and they don't take care of it, then we bill back the resident after we pay the contractor. So we are recommending to go forward with this company, and they would start right away as soon as we get the contract going.
Now therefore be resolved that the mayor and city council hereby award the contract for the blight program to Net Solutions for a 3-year term.
Move.
Support. I had a question.
Yes.
Lisa, on that, the additional papers for this, they've got under removal of abandoned appliances is 0. Are we to assume that they don't take away abandoned appliances?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Anyone else? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Nichols?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Zor?
Yes.
And Mayor Tobin.
Yes. And moving on to let you handle this one.
Okay, so the applicant in this case is asking for an approval on a Class C used vehicle parts dealer and a Class W wholesaler license at 517 Southfield. His application did not include mention of the Class C licensing. We only were aware of that when he submitted the documents for the municipality approval and the zoning approval. If you look at the other documents, you'll see he does mention collision, and he does mention that he will do wholesale car dealer, but he does not mention the Class C portion of it. This location has had a Class B in the past. The former owners had a Class B license. They used to buy vehicles at auction, bring them to the collision shop, repair them, and then sell them from that location. They never had a Class C there, and the comment from the planner was that he believes that a Class C has never been part of this property's record. He would interpret that the adding of a Class C is an expansion of the use, which is not allowed. So I am recommending that you deny his application. So the resolution reads, resolved that a new Class C used vehicle parts dealer and Class W automotive wholesaler's license be denied for the following location: Bashir Motors at 517 Southfield Road.
Support.
Support. Question? Sure. Are they doing business right now? Do they have a Class B license?
They do not have a Class B license,
Okay. And so,
and I do not know if they are open.
okay. Okay.
I believe they are open.
Any other discussion?
Ready?
Okay, clerk, call the roll.
Okay, Councilpersons Dupre?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Zor?
Yes.
And Mayor Tobin.
Yes. Okay, we're going to go on to F now.
Correct.
Whereas the city of Lincoln Park believes quality roads are a vital part of any community, and whereas certain improvements are necessary to Champaign Road from I-75 to Fort Street to increase traffic safety among motorists traveling this road, and whereas the state of Michigan has committed to milling and resurfacing Champaign Road from I-75 to Fort Park, and therefore be it resolved that the mayor and city council of the City of Lincoln Park do hereby approve the proposed agreement between the City of Lincoln Park and the State of Michigan, contract number 25-5213, for the milling and resurfacing Champaign Road from I-75 to Fort Park, and be it further resolved, the DPS Director, John Kazoo, our MDOT, Act 51 Administrator, is authorized to execute this agreement on behalf of the City of Lincoln Park.
Move.
Support.
Any discussion?
Just one quick question to the chair. I don't know if John Kazoo can answer this. Does that include the bridge or just after the bridge on I-75? If you don't mind. Relatively new.
Good evening. It'll actually start on what I want to call the east side of I-75, and it'll go to Fort Street, or Fort Park.
Perfect, thank you.
Any other discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Dupre?
Yes.
Ross? Yes. Salcido?
Yes.
Zor?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
And Mayor Tobin.
Yes.
Then you got that last one you want to do?
Huh?
Yeah.
You got the last one you want to do?
Go ahead.
Okay, and then the mayor has another one. Resolved that a special meeting be held on June 9th at 6 PM to go into closed session to discuss property acquisition.
I'll move.
Support.
So a time? I'm sorry.
6.
PM.
Next Monday.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Nichols?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Zor?
Yes.
And Mayor Tobin.
Yes.
Thank you.
And now we'll move on to the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a quick update. I know there's been questions from time to time on the development at Dixon Southfield. So they are still waiting on their permit from the Wayne County for their sewer easement. So until they get that, they're ready to go and break ground. They're just waiting on that. So hopefully that comes through soon and they can get started. And then DPS will be out planting approximately 20 trees this weekend in Council Point Park. And then a note on our CDBG funding. I know there's been a lot of talk about federal funding and what's at risk, what isn't. But we did receive our allocation for CDBG funding for the upcoming year in the amount of $778,236. So this is up slightly from last year, about $3,500, and $32,000 from the 2023 year. So I just want to say thank you to Monique and Rebecca on their hard work for that. Monique also did a really good job on getting us in line with our time limits on our spending. We've had a problem with that the last couple of years. We've got kind of tick marks from HUD, so we are in good standing with them now. So thank you, Monique, on that. And then the applications did open back up for the Safer Grant for firefighters. So the fire chief is going to be working on applications for that. So that's good news. So something's moving in a good, positive direction for us. And that's all I have to report on tonight.
Through the chair?
Questions?
Yes, through the chair. Lisa, I sent you an article earlier today. Romulus also suffered 40% water loss, and they've since corrected that down to at least 25%.
Right.
I do believe that was through an engineering firm that
Yes.
they hired.
Yep.
Do you have any more information?
So I did reach out to their director over there. He did give me a contact name, somebody to reach out to. He also gave me a couple internal suggestions of things to look at prior to going with the firm, because I'm sure it's quite costly. But I do have a contact name now for someone to reach out there to at least give us an idea of what the cost would be.
Okay.
So
he didn't give you any idea how much they pay?
he did not. I didn't ask specifically. I can still, I can still keep communication open with him because he came back with it. So I do have a couple of follow-up questions for him in relation to what he stated,
Okay.
in relation to billing and those types of things. So,
Very
yeah.
good. It's just that I know that since I've been sitting in this chair, water loss has been a big issue, and it climbed, and it's been steady for, at 40% for a few years now. And I know that we have the water leak detection equipment and team in place. However, we're not seeing any improvement. So I personally feel like it's time for professionals.
Yeah, I mean, I think we do have to look at all avenues. That's why I mentioned the water meters. That's another aspect of it.
Right.
So we're looking at that. John did give me, before the meeting, an update on the leak detection program, so I'll pass those out to council. I haven't had a chance to review it yet, but
Perfect.
can
Thank
get an idea on the work they're doing. But yeah, we're definitely going to keep looking at all options.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Okay, with that, we'll move on to the department head report. I'd like to have everyone introduce you to our new DDA interim director, Elliot Zelnick.
Welcome. Okay. Thank you. That's wonderful. Hello, Mayor, Council, Clerk, and City officials. My name is Elliot Zelnick. I am a former Lincoln Park City Council member, and I have years of community and economic development, and as of now, I am the interim executive director for the DDA. I just want to let you all know that I'm going into this position new, with a fresh start for the DDA, in the sense that I am going to transition this into some comments about the DDA. There are decades of disarray in the DDA office, and this isn't an attack or an excuse. This is just an explanation of the current challenges that the DDA is facing. For example, we have important documents in random boxes that are strewn throughout the office. And another thing is I'm going through all of it to determine our contracts, review old packets and meetings, and our external financial documents. And the biggest thing that I have actually seen while going through everything is that there seems to be no, I guess I want to put it as a dead man continuity system for DDA directors or economic development. That is something that I am going to start putting forward, at least an SOP of some sort for future directors. But updates from the board in a better sense. So we're reviewing and discussing snowplow bids, and we possibly want to work something out with the city, but that's going to be with discussions moving forward. One thing is that I'm going to be connecting with Commissioner Clementi later this week about grass cutting on Fort and Southfield roads, just so we can get some sort of schedule or at least understanding of when and everything will go on. We also have a reconstruction of Fort Street to submit to the state. That is something that I am coming in blind with, in the sense where I'm discussing with the mayor and the board about what exactly that means and how the DDA will get involved. Another thing is that I'm working on, particularly this week, is the aesthetic infrastructure of downtown. We're looking at the trees and planter boxes. We're looking at our trash can repairs and anchoring, and our spare light poles. Now, to try to keep this under 3 minutes, I will say that we are also looking into adding in a restaurant week of some sort in the future, and also some sort of Lincoln Park 100th celebration together with City Hall. And again, that's going to be a discussion with the mayor and city management and city officials. I would like to add just one comment. We had to cancel the Cinco de Mayo festival this year, excuse me, due to an apparent lack of coordination from previous directors, or the previous director as well as the correct parties. But do not fear. We are planning to host a Dia de los Muertos, which is the Day of the Dead, event in the first week of October. Shout out the board for that idea. And so we discussed also that we would like to have at least one DDA event per season. This requires a lot of planning, a lot of coordination, and a lot of parks moving forward. But with city departments, now that things are starting to get settled in my office, and council members, et cetera, I will expect to hear from me. So on that note, we have other stuff that are in the works, but it's nothing that I want to present to you all today. So on that note, I guess, questions, comments?
To the chair. When you said dead man something, could you clarify that?
So I'm coming into this without any idea. From my understanding, is that the last director, or at least the last department head, didn't have the correct documents and everything in place. If the dead man continuity plan is something, if something were to happen to the DDA director, me or whoever is the DDA director, they can just come in and continue. That's just it. Just like, you don't have to go through years of documents. You don't have to hope something's saved to the drive. You just go in and you're good.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Through the chair, Your Honor. Welcome, Elliot.
Thank you.
I spent some time downtown last couple days, and what I've noticed, and you probably have too, obviously the Wendy's is closed. There's a strip mall that's closed down there.
Yep.
Do you see anything in the future that you could like to see? I know you're new.
Yeah.
But before you answer that question, also I noticed vehicles parking on the grass at certain businesses downtown.
Okay.
And I know that's probably, I need to get in touch with the ordinance officer on that, but that's something you're going to be looking at too, right?
Right.
As far as parking.
Keeping it up to code, et cetera.
So anyway, I'm excited that you're on board.
Thank you.
So good luck to you, and
Thank you.
thank you.
To answer your question about the Wendy's, I mean, I want to say I have an idea for all of the downtown. Obviously, there are going to be more difficult spots than others, but I do. But again, I don't want to tell you guys just yet because I don't have it all like, it's all like, it's all in different notepads and stuff like that. But the idea is just basically I want to get you guys something prepared instead of just the,
To the chair, I have one more question, and I believe there's a tortilla factory in the works, and it's taken a while, and I'm understanding that maybe
something.
they gotta jump through hoops to open up, so I'm not sure the whole logistics of it.
Yeah.
I talked to someone near and dear to that today, but they want to open
Yeah.
soon, but I saw some green stickers, so you can elaborate on that?
Do you want to connect and we can get the contact info and we can, perfect, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yep, of course.
Anybody else? Well, thank you, Mr. Zelnick. We appreciate you.
Thank you all.
And look forward to seeing what you are going to come up with for us.
Thank you.
It's exciting to have some new things going on, and I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. And you guys can come visit me anytime. My office used to be called the Power Smokers Room, I believe, back in like the 80s or 90s or something like that. The nicotine's almost off the walls, so come on in. All right, thanks, guys.
Good, please.
Thanks,
Elliot. Thank you, Elliot.
At this point, we're going to move on to citizen communications. If you'd like to address this board, you will have 3 minutes. Please state your name and come on up.
Mayor and council members, I'm Paula Miller, and a year ago, May of 2024, I was one of 3 standing before you presenting a proposal that the Social Development Coalition be integrated into the city government. You may recall our PowerPoint presentation and accompanying 37-page booklet of that proposal. Well, since then, our Social Development Advisory Group, some of who are seated in council, gathered in this room with me today, we've been meeting monthly. And additionally, we've had the efforts of 2 social work interns who met weekly. And together, we have updated the resource guide. We have it available in both English and Spanish, and it is posted on the city website. We've hosted a very successful community forum where service providers and city leaders gathered to exchange ideas. And today, I can present to you a final draft of our Social Development Coalition bylaws. It has been a very busy and very fruitful year since we last addressed you. And today, I am respectfully requesting that you again consider our proposal to incorporate this coalition into the municipal structure. I call on the mayor, the city manager, the city clerk, the council members to weigh in on this important decision that we feel would greatly enhance the social development of our residents. Thank you so very much. Any questions?
Do you have copies for us?
You have been emailed a copy, and I have one that I'm bringing. I can get many more.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's been a year.
It's been a year.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Honorable City Council people. My name is Belda Garza, and I live at 2921 Lafayette Boulevard. And I'm here to talk about the water replacement project that happened last year. We were very grateful that it happened, but it did tear some of our grass, and also the heavy equipment cracked my driveway. And I have been talking to them. I've talked to the gentleman, Ron Real. I've talked to him a couple of times, and I talked to him on 4/22, where he said that by Saturday he would send somebody over to look at the holes in the grass and have them done. I have not spoken to him since. At the last city council meeting, I spoke to the gentleman to his right. I gave him pictures of what was damaged and how my grass looked, and he said that they would get back to me, and I haven't heard anything. So I was just wondering if if there's a problem, or if I can get this done. I'm very proud of my lawn. I keep my house up, and I want it to look nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else who'd like to address this body?
Good evening. My name is Holly Sturgeon, and I live on the 1500 block of Stewart. I have the same concerns as the prior lady. My grass was damaged. Quite a bit of my lawn was damaged. This last project with the DTE and the gas lines. Trying to track down someone that is in charge of that project to voice your concerns. We had to try to talk to someone in the company that were on the streets to try to help us. My lawn is, where they've graded it, there is at least 4 inches difference between the lawn that they've left. And there has not been any buildup. They scraped it, they put a little bit of dirt on it, and left. And I don't know who to talk to see if I can get that repaired. And I had the same thing last year. They came in, they damaged my grass. They dug into my grass. That was never fixed. This year, they did the DTE and the 3 different crews of people. We were actually forgotten about when they did the 1500 block from Dix to Fort Street, 1500 to Lafayette, I'm sorry. Fort Street was, 1500 block of Stewart was lost. Trying to track down someone to speak to them to make sure that they could come back and take the asphalt off the sidewalks and repair the sidewalks. We had to go and track down people through our neighbors who were able to track down one person and then talk to another neighbor that was able to talk to another person. It's just very frustrating, and I would like to know who is actually in charge of that project in the city. And they should be held accountable, because when you try to trust someone, you don't get anywhere. And I'm at this point where we had to go and talk to the crews. We had to go and talk to their shift leaders. We had to talk to other people, but I never talked to anybody in the city that said that they were going to help me. I was given the lady of Susan over at the DPW. She never returned my call. I called her several times. When I called the building department, described what my problem was, I was given Susan at the DPW. So I'm confused about who is actually in charge of the project that you guys do here in the city of Lincoln Park. The water
Right here, you can speak with Mr. Kazoo after the meeting and give him your information, and he can help you get this resolved.
Okay.
Thank you. Anybody else who'd like to address us?
Yep, we would.
I will.
All right, guys. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have a few things. I have nothing to dispute, but hey, guys, red. Red. All right, guys. Thank you. As a member of the Lincoln Park Little League, as a safety officer for our league, not only that, but as a father, in this community, on behalf of the Lincoln Park Little League, we'd like to, have an honorable mention to our Lincoln Park Fire Department, our Lincoln Park Police Station. You guys continue to make this city that we call home, alive and proud. We just want to, on behalf of us, tell you guys thank you. We see you, we recognize you, we appreciate you. I've had numerous conversations with Mr. Jason there. I would love to see the rest of you guys out on the fields. Baseball is very nostalgic to the city of Lincoln Park. You know, it's something that if you guys are graduates of Lincoln Park, you probably hold it very dear to your heart. So come on out Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, any day except for Sunday. We give that to the Lord, but we'd love to see you guys out there and support. So thank you.
Thank you, Coach K.
Okay, Leslie Lynch Wilson, I don't know whether I can beat that, they were terrific. Lincoln Park Farmers Market starts this Sunday, downtown Lincoln Park, Mellows Park site, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. every Sunday, June through October. Holiday Market, November 23rd. Yes, that's my birthday, and yes, I will be working it. We have some of the vegetable seeds left that we did the vegetable seed distribution for low-income families several weeks back. We have enough for about 20 to 25 individuals or families, so we'll be doing that Tuesday, June 3rd, next week, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Lincoln Park Public Library. There's 10 different seed packs you get: carrots, several types of lettuce, several tomatoes, onion, bell peppers, cucumbers, kale, and basil. So please spread the word, because I'd like to get rid of them. And I think that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie.
Anybody else that'd like to address this body? Hello,
Good
sir.
evening, Council. My name is David Sturgeon. I live in the 1500 block of Stewart. My concerns are Gregory Park. Basketball, hoops, really in bad shape. I have grandchildren, other kids in the neighborhood that don't even go to the park. They go down to the school, foot school. And my granddaughter is going to a picnic next week for school, and it's going to be at Gregory Park. My concern is people in the park underneath one of the, I'm not sure what they're called. Yeah, they're not very good people, let's say, drug addicts. You see them up there, you drive by, you see them up there all the time. That's a concern of mine. And a recycling business on Dick's, where Dick's Auto Supply used to be. I've noticed tons of mud coming out of there, up, onto Dick's. And it's really bad. I mean, there's some days we get a cloud coming down our street. It's pretty bad. But that's all my concerns, and I appreciate you guys, and have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else would like to address us? With that being said, we'll move on to mayor and council comments. I should have done this at the beginning of the meeting, and I apologize, so I'm going to do it now. We have someone in the audience tonight that I would like to read a proclamation for. Mr. Ron Rail, could you please come up to the podium? Mr. Rail's been around the city for a very long time. Everyone knows him and everybody likes him. He's a very good man.
Not everybody.
Recognizing Ron Rail for outstanding service and compassionate action. Whereas the City of Lincoln Park is committed to recognizing individuals who go beyond their professional duties to serve the greater good of the community, and whereas on Saturday, May 3rd, 2025, while working near a residential property as part of a street project, city contractor Ron Rail demonstrated extraordinary care and quick response during an emergency. And whereas, after completing project-related work and engaging in a courteous conversation with a resident, Mr. Rail was alerted to a possible emergency inside the home. And whereas Mr. Rail immediately responded by assisting Hutch Paving employee Trent in entering the home, ensuring safe access, and helping the resident's wife who had fallen and was unable to get up. And whereas Mr. Rail's alertness, willingness to assist without hesitation, and compassionate actions reflect the highest value of public service and human kindness, and whereas his selfless act of support helped avert further harm and left a lasting positive impression on the resident and the community as a whole. Now therefore, I, Maureen Tobin, Mayor of the City of Lincoln Park, on behalf of the City Council and all residents, do hereby recognize and commend Ron Rail for his exceptional service, humanity, and integrity, and express our sincere gratitude for his commitment to the safety and well-being of our community. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, Ron.
Thank Ron.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rail.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry I'm not standing, but thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, and a few other things just that I was going to do at the beginning and I forgot. So, on May 31st at 8:45 a.m., Relief Michigan, a nonprofit tree organization, partnering with Friends of the Detroit River and the City of Lincoln Park, Ecorse Creek Committee, and DTA Energy Foundation, will plant 20 trees at Council Point Park. Relief will show volunteers how to plant the trees. Please bring a shovel, hard rake, and gloves, and please wear closed-toed shoes. All families are welcome, so you can bring your kids and they can learn how to plant trees. It's at Council Point Park, 3213 River Drive. The museum bell ringing was held last week. It was a really nice event. It was a little cold out, but it was nice. It was well attended, and I want to thank the Lincoln Park Exchange Club for putting up and displaying the flags around the museum. The John Dingell Memorial Day Parade was a big success this year. The parade's grown. It was exceptionally well attended this year, and it was a lot of fun. I want to thank Ted Geftis, the parade chairperson, and all the members of the Hand of the City on a job well done. The memorial service by the VFW at the War Memorial after the parade was also well attended. Wreaths were laid to honor our fallen. All branches of the service were in attendance. Every name on the War Memorial was spoken and the bell was rung after every name in remembrance of the life and sacrifice these heroes gave for our freedom. Again, I'd like to thank the Exchange Club for putting up 120 flags in honor of Lincoln Park's fallen heroes. The Spring Carnival is happening at the Community Center. Please go and visit and get your corn dogs and your funnel cakes and your lemonade eggs. And I tried a fried Oreo. Oh my God, it was amazing. So the carnival is a fundraiser for the Parks and Rec Department. So please go out, have some fun and support. The Fire Department's 100th anniversary is June 1st. They'll be having a little get-together at the fire station. It starts at noon, so please come out and show support for the fire departments being here for 100 years, protecting us. And June is just a few days away, so you know what that means in Lincoln Park. That means that music returns to Lincoln Park. So June 5th, a hometown favorite will be playing at the band shell, Infinity and Beyond. This concert starts at 7 o'clock. This year, remember, there's going to be concerts Tuesdays and Thursdays throughout the summer. So watch the schedules on social media, as the city website, and flyers throughout the city to see who's playing on what days. And on June 7th, the Eagles will be having their fundraiser. It starts at noon. There's things for kids, there's things for adults, music all day, food all day. The Eagles are trying to save their club and their building. They've been around for a long time. They always help the city. So please consider going out on June 7th to the Eagles Clubhouse and helping them give back to them because they've always given to us. And with that, we'll move on to President Salcido.
Thank you, Your Honor. If I'm not mistaken, Lisa, wasn't the basketball courts already approved to be fixed?
Yes, it's in process.
In
yeah.
process, just so you know, the basketball courts are in process of getting fixed. All right, as a liaison to the Parks and Recs Commission, they had a meeting last Wednesday, and Maureen touched on some of them, but I'll going to mention the cruising downriver, and used to be the Downriver Cruise, but there'll be a classic car show. Please show up if you can on June 27th and 28th. That's in conjunction with Downriver Cruise. Also, Art in the Park is coming in July 25th and 26th. The community garage sale, I believe it's in conjunction with the citywide garage sale at the community centers. Also, they're going to have tables inside. People can get tables, so please check that out. As Maureen said, check the website. Also, the sports card swap is going on. A lot going on in the city right now. Also, there was a ribbon cutting ceremony on Tips and Clips. I couldn't make it on Saturday. I see someone did. Lady was actually doing nails for 2 people. I was going to try to get a haircut, but I thought they should just did nails, so I didn't check it out. So, but I welcomed her to the city. She's been there actually a while. I did visit her a few months ago. Also, as I was downtown today, I ran into a couple of businesses, but one really struck me on Southfield Road, 1118 Southfield Road. I can't really say. Alma's Fine Roots. What a store. Roots.
Yep.
Roots. What'd I say?
Roots.
Roots. It's a flower shop. But it's very calming in there, and they have flowers for every occasion inside. And she was very pleasant. And I'm going to leave it at that, but there's a lot going on in the city. And I'm really interested in downtown Elliott, so maybe see you soon, all right? That's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Okay. Lillian?
I don't have much, Your Honor. I did make the Housing Commission meeting, but they take care of business as usual. So I think that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I have a bunch, so let's do this. The Planning Commission has been busy, and a couple things that keep popping up are car washes and used car sales. That's something that we are able to deny because of the existing wants and the saturation of our city. We did turn down the Class C car sales. The car wash that's talking to us, I think it's not Pagel. Is it on the corner of Pagel and Dick's? Okay. I looked at it the other day. It does need to be updated. It would look nice, and it's no expansion. So if they're not going to expand and do more and cause more traffic issues, then we will approve that. But not, personally, I don't approve anymore. We have enough, in my opinion. There was a final approval on a child care center. There's a child care center on Dick's right next to McDonald's, been there forever. Great group of people, and they're expanding, so that'll be nice. The Dangerous Building Board had a meeting. We had a quorum, which was lovely. We have 3 new individuals helping us out. 4 properties to review, 3 demolition orders were issued, and 1 repair approval on a garage on Gregory. Leslie took away my thunder on the farm market, but are we still doing a plant swap for the perennials? I forgot to mention. Okay, there'll be a plant swap for perennials too, if anybody's interested. Dig some up and change them around and, share. It's always fun. We've had some interesting environmental things going on. Chief Prinz was the leader in a hazmat situation that was caused by a scrapyard in Melvindale. Thank you to the hazmat team. Wayne County Homeland Security was involved, and various other agencies handling the cleanup, and it's ongoing. We will bill that cost back to the responsible company. Thank you, Chief Prinz, for leading that for us. DPS has been busy as usual. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication. Our first responders, fire, police, everybody that protects our city, thank you. You keep us going. I did feel a little warmth coming out of church on Sunday, because it's been so cold and freezing for days. It's been nice the next couple of days. I'm hoping that I'll be able to complain about it being too hot soon. So you'll hear me do that. Enjoy outside events. Congratulations to all the 2025 graduates. And that's my report for the week. Good night and God bless.
Thank you. Jason?
Hi, there was a CIC meeting last Thursday, and like our city manager already said, they, did receive the allocation for the CDBG fund. The commission did approve what they're going to recommend as far as the allotments for the applications that received, and that will be coming to council shortly. Once again, I was impressed with the variety of service groups, organizations, city department that all put in application. They seem to do a good job of coming out with a good allotment for them all to help Lincoln Park in many different ways. And on that note, when Pastor Paula Miller spoke about the Social Development Coalition, I am one of the council people on that advisory commission. Been there a couple years, and I certainly think it can, like Paula said, could certainly benefit Lincoln Park to put the municipality policies through the lens of not just economic development, like we're also used to doing, but also the social development aspect. There's a lot of good volunteerism, charity, and groups available to help people across the range of issues, and the number one obstacle for these groups and organizations is reaching the people that need the help. And I think this coalition could be a way to bridge that divide. We would be unique in going down this path, and I think Lincoln Park would be proud to hopefully take this down the path and have it to be successful in the end and help our residents. And that is all I have. Thank you and have a great night.
Thank you. Eric?
Yes, first thing is that our Police and Fire Retirement Board met last week, and they are still being funded at this time. I want to say that the fire department did a great job saying their farewells to former police or fire chief Ernie Moon. It was a nice service. Thank you very much for that. I want to say thank you to our police department for all the things that they've been doing. They've been staying extremely busy, keeping our city safe. I want to say congratulations to, it's called Pond of Dreams, 3434 4th Street at Gregory. It's now open. They sell hockey equipment and sporting goods. And they also support our new hockey team that will be at our community center. Also, the fire department will be having an open house June 1st, 12 to 3 if I'm correct. Food, drinks, bring the whole family. It'll be a very good time. With that, that's all I have at this time.
Thank you, Eric. Jason?
All right, last but not least, usually I'm the wrong talker when I don't have much. EDC met Tuesday. They finalized the designs for the banners that will be up on 4th Street and on Southfield. Christy and I will be going around to businesses here in the next week or two soliciting bids for the banners. So keep an eye out for us if you see me coming into your business. No, I'm looking for money. The new banners will actually have replacement on some of the hardware for the banners that have been destroyed. The new design on the hardware should last at least 10 years, so we won't have to go through and replace the hardware every couple of years because, as you guys know, the wind around here does whip up pretty good and it does destroy the metal. Other than that, the parade was absolutely beautiful weather, could not have been any better. I would have liked to see a little more people out there, but it was a really big turnout. Everybody had fun. Kids were laughing, screaming. I walked with the junior rails. We had a little audience participation towards the end. Everybody chanting our little chant, and it was nice. I got to hang out with my guys from the Little League before the parade started, so all fun. Everybody had a good time, so I just want to say thank you guys. Everybody keep up the good work, and let's keep going.
Okay, and with that, I will call for adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
Adjourned at 8:03.
Councilperson Salcido?
Yes.
Dupre? Yes. Bear?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Ross? Yes. Zor?
Yes.
And Mayor Tobin?
Yes.